is stuck to the back.
Hey, we are live. As you can see, got my special guest Claire here. Claire, say hey to everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
And you can see we're missing one of the dynamic duo. Che is having some computer issues at the moment. So he said go ahead and jump on and maybe open some Pokemon until he can get here. Or maybe talk about some Jesse Winker. What do you think, Claire? Which one do you want to do?
Talk about Jesse Winker.
Talk about Jesse Winker. What do you want to talk about about Jesse Winker? Our buddy Chris is watching. He says, hey.
I need another one for my other hand.
Okay. Can you tell him what we got for you yesterday?
A slip and slide.
A slip and slide. But what kind of Jesse Winker did we get for you?
Last one in my rainbow.
The last one in your rainbow. Do you know what number that is? The 1 of 1 gold superfractor. All these amazing people on Twitter came on and said, we're going to help Claire get it. So Daddy paid a bunch of money and these other people paid a bunch of money and we got it for you. What do you think?
Could you help me put this on?
Is that super awesome?
Yeah.
You have Jesse Winker hands?
Mm-hmm.
Is Jesse Winker, all he does is hit Winker dingers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says, awesome. Slip and slides are so fun. Let's see if Che texts us. He says he can't get his mic or his camera to work. So we'll see if he can get that to work. If not, we'll just be opening some Pokemon tonight and we'll get on with Claire next week.
I don't want to open Pokemon. I just want to talk about Jesse Winker.
You just want to talk about Jesse Winker? Well, oh, here comes Che. There he is.
What's
There's
up?
the man.
Hey, Claire.
Oh, let me change our view here so we get her in there.
How are you? There we go. I love your PJs, Claire. I'm sorry I'm late. I had technical difficulties.
You tell him that's okay. We were late too because we were playing in the slip and slide. We went to a high school baseball game. My high school, I was talking about them last week. They won the district semifinal today, 10-3. They'll be in the district finals on Wednesday.
Nice.
It was like 85 degrees and super hot. So we came home and played in the slip and slide. And then Claire just got her jammies on so she could be on our show tonight.
I love them, Claire. They're awesome.
Yeah, and Jen, too. My hat is super special because 509 and 467 are my two buddies that I worked with who were killed in the line of duty. And after that, they made these special hats. And I was a coach here for a long time, so they gave me one because they knew how special it was to me. And I've honestly never even worn the hat until last week. It just sat on a shelf, and I decided I was going to wear it.
I want to look at your tattoo.
She's going to look at my tattoo on my back. Yeah, I have their names tattooed on my back.
Yeah, I was going to say, your hat is, special. She was initially just dissing on my hat, but, we'll let that slide. So.
Well, Claire, Che wanted to talk to you about Jesse Winker because he knows he's your favorite player. And Jesse Winker right now is currently the second best hitter in the National League to Nick Castellanos. He's third in the league in home runs, and he is the hottest player. And you know what? You're the world's biggest Jesse Winker collector. What do you think about that?
Are you really?
In the database?
In the trading card database, Claire has the number one most cards. She is the number one Jesse Winker collector.
And let's show him all the drinks we have.
All the what?
Drinks.
The drinks? He wants to see our drinks. We're drinking the body armor.
And I have a blanket.
Oh, I like body armor.
Blanket. She says it's cold. Where's the green one, honey? Oh. And you know how I always got my big one here, so. Grandma and Grandpa are watching. Say hey.
Claire, I heard that you had cups that change colors when you pour the drink in them.
Do you have a cup that changes colors when you pour a drink in it? Yeah? You know where you got those cups? Well, I forgot. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
It's okay now. It's fine now. So
it's okay now.
Well, Claire, did we have something exciting that we wanted to talk about with Jesse Winker?
Did something exciting happen yesterday with Jesse Winker? Did maybe we get you a special Jesse Winker card?
Yes. And I don't want to tell him because it's a surprise for the next we can show.
Oh, it's a surprise. She doesn't want to tell because next week she wants to show when it gets here. We completed her rainbow. We got her the one of one. So the 2019 Jesse Winker Chrome Rainbow is complete.
I heard that.
She heard that, but Jay didn't because he was closing his ears.
I had my ears
La, la,
closed.
la, I can't hear.
I'll watch Sunday. Sunday morning I'll watch, and you can show me the surprise, okay?
Sunday
Sound like a
morning,
deal?
because we didn't have a show last Sunday. So you're going to do one next Sunday?
Yeah.
You know?
Claire, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you write your name yet? Do you know how to write your name?
No.
You need to learn to write your name because I've got these Claire cards, but I don't have any autographed Claire cards.
We need to get you some autographed Claire cards.
Yeah.
She was, right before we got on, she was working on spelling Che. She wanted to know how to write it. So we were working on writing Che right before you jumped on here, though. But that's a great
That's
idea.
an
You can
easy
start
one.
autographing your Claire cards.
Could you whisper
Yeah.
to my ear how to spell C-H-E?
Yes, if you look at the screen, Claire, you can see those are the letters.
Right there. C-C-H-E. Right there. And it's right there. Well,
See, I've got this
you
card.
want to show some of
You
your
know where I
videos?
got this card?
No, I want to read this for a second.
So I didn't hear what Che said.
Oh, I just asked her if she knew where I got that card.
Ooh, Claire,
but it
do you remember
doesn't have
making
an
that?
autograph.
The Bedazzled card.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember you made one for him? We sent it to him last year for the American Heart Association. He donated some money and we thanked him by sending that to him. Is that awesome?
You were very sad that day.
Mommy was sad that day.
Why?
Yeah, I was sad that day too. That's something we're not going to talk about right now. We'll talk about it after. We're talking about happy things right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And something that makes me happy are no-hitters in baseball. You know what a no-hitter is?
Can we talk about
Well, I am. This is on our list. You want to talk about the Walmart video?
Uh-huh.
Okay. She wants to talk about the Walmart video because I was telling her about it.
Okay.
So, Claire, there's this video at Walmart, right? And there are like 10 grown men like me who are running into a Walmart like they're on the supermarket sweeps. Everybody just grabbing stuff off shelves and throwing each other out of the way and almost getting in a fight with each other. I don't think that's very cool. What do you think? No. How would you act if you saw some cards on a shelf?
I'll just grab some cards and buy them.
Grab some. What if I was there and I wanted some cards? Che was there and wanted some cards. You were there and wanted some cards. How would you deal with that?
Just and if there's enough for all, everyone just buy one.
Everybody just
There
buy
you
one.
go.
Split it. A 5-year-old understands how to do it. What are your thoughts, Che? Because I kind of just I thought it was ridiculous.
You know you've known my thoughts for months. I mean, I was the guy who put out a YouTube video 8-10 months ago defending these guys. Defending the people that were going to Walmart and feeling the need to clear the shelves. But I think if I was with Tom the other night, I went on a rant just because that's insane. It's ridiculous. Bless you. Bless you. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. I mean, that video just highlighted not just the worst in the hobby, the worst in society. I mean, just it was disgusting. It was disgusting to see. I mean,
That's a Joey Votto.
I like
it was just, it's unreal. It's embarrassing to be associated with that, to be associated as part of this hobby. I mean, it's embarrassing for me now after seeing how these people have acted, just to walk into Walmart or Target and look, because I don't want to be associated by proxy, just as one of those guys. They've given a black eye to the entire community. And Target has taken them off the shelves. Barnes and Noble tweeted that they're going to reduce their stocking days and their stocking announcements. I've got several Walmarts around me that have already stopped carrying and have been because of physical altercations in the card aisle. I've got other Walmarts that have limited, and then some that people, tend to act with some sense, but it's disgusting. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, I don't really have the words to
Yeah, and
put it
Kate,
eloquently, other than it's just disgusting.
and K Dub said, that he made the comment that, what is the hobby to you? And are these, the hobby members? And it's crap. And I just said, I don't think these are the hobby members, but, you're guilty by association. And then someone else said, I used to say, oh, I was afraid to tell people I collected cards because kids did. Now I'm afraid to tell people I collect cards because of stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I'm guilty by association. If someone sees that, that's what they think everyone is. Like the outside looking in is terrible at that. And it's, I'm never going to be that guy. I waited in line once because I saw a vendor there and I had nothing to do that day. But I'm not going to go, wait in hours or, like Black Friday to get a $300 TV or something like that for sports cards. And, those aren't the guys opening stuff.
No.
The product I get, I'll sell to my buddies at cost, but Claire and I open every Sunday a box. So I've got to have a box here every Sunday. That's no easy task right now. That gets expensive. So it's, like Chris just made a comment. You'd meet people in the card aisle and talk to them for a little bit and have conversations and meet people there. Now it's thinking, okay, what's that guy getting? He was here first. Okay, you getting this? Okay, no, I want this now. But that's even if you find anything. And usually it's just, you look in the aisle, nothing's there. If you happen to find something, you hit the vendor, so you stay and stick around for a little bit. Then nobody talks to each other. You got the group of 4 guys. Like I got the Yankees hat guy, the thick glasses guy, the guy with his kid, and the slob. My buddy Nick Lucchese, he always talks about, he's got the Italian guy there everywhere, and he's got the clique of 4 guys who go around. Tyler Liddy's telling me about his group of guys that he sees at every single place, everywhere he goes. And, Becky, my mom was at Meijer, just happened to be 245. They go on sale at 3 o'clock. And she tells me, yeah, Yankees hat guy was there with thick glasses guy. So my mom even knows them. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same way here. I mean, it's the same group of 6 or 7. They're at every Walmart, and I really don't know how they know. Because, the same vendor does 3 Walmarts in my area. So she has 3 Walmarts and 3 more Walmarts are by another vendor. And she will stock either on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, one of those 3 Walmarts, and you never know which one she's going to go to. But they tend to always be at the right one on the right day. And that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. But, Todd put in the chat, so I say online now, but bots snagged them all. I saw a tweet, and you know me, I don't get involved. I don't try to call somebody out. But I saw a tweet in response to the Walmart video we're talking about. And it was some hobby member who I don't follow, but he had this sob story about, and he tagged Walmart, and he's like, are you going to let this happen? How can parents like me get a box to rip with their kids? Like what you just said.
I saw this guy. I think I know what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I shared it with you. He tags Walmart at this big sob story about, now I can't open with my son because you let this happen in your aisles. What you need to do is move everything to online so I can get something to open with my son. Just so happens 5 days earlier, if you scroll down his timeline, and he doesn't have a lot of tweets, it's like the 4th tweet down, he posted his flex of the 40 boxes he used his bot to get off his latest online order. And I really, really wanted so bad just to take that and tweet it and say, you could try opening one of these with your son. But, I don't do that. I don't get involved in that kind of stuff. But it's just so everywhere you turn, whether it's watching that video or the people with the bots or the people on that video talking about, it's disheartening, man. I mean, there's a lot in this hobby that's been disheartening lately, not being able to buy a product. We talked 2 weeks ago and I just said, I don't buy cards anymore. All I do is I buy the print on demand. I've bought 3 Topps Nows this year. And I'm starting to buy a little bit more Project 70 because they've taken the handcuffs off of that. And I think we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But I just don't. This hobby's not about buying new cards for me anymore. It's about other things. But it's very disheartening. I mean, it's kind of depressing. Tom ran a poll, a Twitter poll a couple weeks ago and said, how's your hobby health? And like only 28% of the people said they're enjoying the hobby. And the hobby is a hobby. Because
it's a hobby. You're supposed to like it.
It's a hobby. That's the definition of a daggone hobby, is to be able to enjoy it. And, fully 3/4 of the people who are in this aren't having fun. And that's disheartening. And I'm sorry, I almost said a no word, Claire.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Project 70 because that's something she really wanted to talk about was the art cards. And I know you want to get into Lauren Taylor, and I've got her Bellinger sitting right here, Bellinger and Mookie. But Miss Claire makes the art cards, and she wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely,
Go ahead
I've
and talk about the
got
art
a
cards,
few
Claire.
of them right here.
Shay has some he can show. You want to talk about how you make them?
Okay.
Get the hair out of your mouth and tell everybody. We've got 12 people watching.
12.
Yeah, that's a lot. Go ahead and tell them how you make your Claire cards.
How you do is just put a blob of paint on a plate and then just get a card and hold it in your hand and get a paintbrush and put it in there and then just paint the card however you want.
So Claire, what happens? What happens if you mess up? You can't mess it up, can you? Because it's art, right? Do you
You
try to
can't
stay in the
mess it up.
lines, or what do you do?
Can't mess it up.
No.
Can't mess it up. That's right.
I enjoy doing them too because we paint with her, and Cooper started making Cooper cards. I like the ones where you got different colors, and after you kind of get them a little bit each other. So like the yellow might mix into the green or the green into the red a little bit. You just take one card and you press it all the way down on the plate, and it squishes the paint out. And then some of the thicker cards like Heritage and Series 1 will kind of soak it up. Then you can see the little tracks in the card, or like the little roots, like the tree roots you want to call it, in the card, and those look really cool. They don't really work so good on the chromium cards, but the thicker cardstock, it works really great. I think those are awesome. Or like the classic football ones and like the playbook football cards, those are really good to paint on as well. But typically we like doing baseball, and I've got Uncle Dave. His name's David Peterson. And Kelly was nice enough to send us about 30 of these David Peterson cards, who plays for the Mets. So Claire and Cooper, you're going to lock my phone, honey, if you keep drawing the wrong pattern, are going to make a whole bunch of cards for my Uncle Dave.
You can tell me like
That's awesome. I've got a Nick Senzel rookie that Claire did for me. That's exactly what you just described. It's my favorite one. It's like a mint green paint, and it's awesome. That's what I'm looking for, but I just realized it's back in the other room.
I have a
But
Claire
I love
card
it, Claire.
right here. She going to show us yellow one? I have a couple yellow ones sitting right here.
can I then show it better on the sleeve? I'll put
Yeah,
it
go
back in
ahead.
the
She's going to show a couple of her Claire cards that she made that I got sitting
All
over
right.
How do you get out of the sleeve?
here. Just like that. Cool. It might be stuck because of the paint. It's stuck here. I got that one out.
Listen, look at this one. Ooh.
I like
And this
that
one's
one.
a Javier Baez. Maybe we send this to Ross. Our buddy Ross is a
Yeah.
big Javier Baez fan. What do you think?
He is. I just sent Ross a little Javier
That
Baez pack.
is Chris Davis of the Orioles. Our friend Brian Spenley. Not Nolan Ryan is an Orioles fan.
And Nolan Ryan.
Well, his name is not Nolan Ryan because you know who he is? He is not Nolan Ryan because his name is Brian. But Shay is doing this awesome fundraiser with Tom, our buddy Tom P. Willis, to help people who are having mental problems, who are having some mental health issues. So
Like-
Che and Tom,
Like mommy?
like mommy, no, not like mommy, honey. So Che and Tom are having some mental issues right now, or not? Sorry, so I spoke. Che and Tom are doing a fundraiser to help people with their mental health because with the pandemic and a lot of other things, a lot of people are having some mental health issues. So it's the Jed Foundation, and they have some art cards. And there's this woman named Lauren Taylor, and she made this particular card right here for Project 70. And Che and Tom teamed up with her for their fundraiser. I'd like Che to talk about that a little bit. What do you think? You think that's a good idea?
But could I talk about a few things first?
Yeah. Can she talk about a few? She said absolutely.
Absolutely, Claire.
I'm gonna get this right here.
What do you want to talk about, honey?
I'm gonna actually show it, not talk about it. And I'm moving.
Uncle Kevin's watching.
Actually, it doesn't have a beard. It's just a glove.
Okay. You gonna show that Joey Votto?
So like,
Here's a Joey Votto card that she likes.
Ooh, I like Joey Votto.
Yep. Jay's a big Joey Votto fan. He
I
likes
bet your mom likes that card, doesn't she?
And mommy likes Joey Votto, huh? Is that mommy's favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Let's probably get out of your mouth then, huh?
I'm gonna grab my Jesse Winker.
Let's show you Jesse Winker. Then Jay's gonna talk about his Project 70 stuff, okay? Why you got that in his mouth when he talked now, okay? Deal skis? Deal skis, Chase turn, Project 70.
All right. Well, no, you were talking about, Tom and I, we teamed up with Lauren Taylor from Topps Project 70. It all started with just a little thing Tom and Lauren had going where he was going to sell one of her cards, and she said, hey, as long as you sell it, donate it to a charity, and I'd prefer it to be mental health. And, May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and we chose the JED Foundation, which is, mental health for young adults and teens and suicide prevention in our young adults and teens. So, we have gotten just so much support from this community. Eric Hecker recently they just wrapped up their Ripping for the Cure on Saturday night. It was a months long thing. They raised $40,000. But the entire time that Eric was doing his Ripping for the Cure, he was also promoting our fundraiser. He was promoting our JED Foundation fundraiser. He finished that thing at midnight on Saturday night. He wakes up Monday morning. The first thing he did was made a video promoting our fundraiser. We've gotten help from him. We've gotten donations from so many people, whether it be donating, merchandise for us to sell, donating money again, buying the things we're selling. We thought maybe if we're lucky, you and I talked about this, and you were like, I'm kind of worried you'll get your $2,000. I'm like, yeah, I kind of am too. I don't know if we'll get our $2,000 goal. We're currently at $2,700 raised. We still have our Lauren Taylor autograph print. She's donated a print, and I used to have them right here, but I moved them.
I got a question real quick. Is that the Yastrzemski and the Ozuna, or is that a pick anybody, or is it just those two? Are those two different things, or are those the same thing?
She ran into some licensing issues. She's not allowed to sell them unless they're fully licensed with all the proper stuff on the bottom. So the only two that she could find that were ready to go were Mike Yastrzemski or Marcell Ozuna. So she put those up, and she said, you don't have to pick one now. The winning bidder can pick which one they want. And it's a print. They're beautiful. If you've seen her Project 70 cards, she is absolutely amazing.
They are.
If you go to my my website, iansportscards.com, there's a JED Foundation section. You can see what they look like. But just so generous of her. And that ends Wednesday night. So that auction is going on right now on Tom P. Willis' Twitter handle. The current bidding is at $110. We know that it'll go higher than that. It's a dual autograph. Lauren has autographed it. The athlete has autographed it. You get to choose between Mike Yastrzemski or Marcell Ozuna. And that's our last big item. We still have a couple of small lots and small cards that I'll probably sell tomorrow or Wednesday. And I do have one huge item what I'm going to do with it is I'm not going to be able to sell it by the deadline, and I'm not going to devalue the item just to get it sold by our deadline. But I've got a Tyler Hero F. limited edition artist print autographed by Tyler Hero that is about a $750 card that was donated to me by Jimmy from Kentucky Cards. And I'm just going to keep that one up. I'm going to either put it on eBay or buy it now. And then when that does sell, I'll put that money toward the fundraiser. But it might be a month from now. It might be 6 weeks from now. I don't know when it'll sell. But I'm not going to devalue his donation by trying to just get rid of it by our deadline. I don't think that would be right to Jimmy, or that wouldn't be right to the fundraiser. So if you know a big Tyler Hero fan, shoot him my way. That's my pinned tweet right now is a picture of that card. It's an absolutely gorgeous card. It was.
It is beautiful.
I said F. It was Tyson Beck. Tyson Beck and Tyler Hero teamed up to do a limited edition series. And this one happens to be autographed by Hero, numbered to 15. It's a photo variation artist print.
Do you have that card there to show?
I had it here until today. It's out in the car because I went up to Jimmy's today and I was going to talk to him about it. And but no, it is. If you go to my Twitter handle, it is the It is my pinned tweet. You can
Claire
see
just
that
wanted
as
to
my
see
pinned
it.
tweet.
I'll bring it up to
I'll tell
her
you
after
what.
our show.
I'll show it to her. I mean, I'll step out and get it. It won't take me a second. You can talk. I'll be right back.
Okay, he's gonna step out and get the card, Claire. All right. But yeah, it's an awesome fundraiser they're doing. I got big into Project 2020. I've got stacks over here. I tried to get all the Blake Jamesons, who also we're going to talk about in a minute. Right now, I'm just collecting in Project 70 the Cody Bellingers because I like Cody Bellinger. So whatever.
Daddy, did you put out your hand?
Oh, you want some hand sanitizer?
I'm putting on.
Well, I got to take my wedding ring off. You got to take your wedding rings off when you put on hand sanitizer, or it tarnishes your ring. Make sure you put it right back on though. Just a little bit, okay, honey? He's gonna go get this awesome card to show you. That's enough.
All right,
Look,
Claire.
You watching? Watch him.
You ready, Claire?
I'm gonna show you.
I'll let her get her hand sanitizer.
You watching, honey?
All right. So
You see it?
this
Isn't
is
that
the
beautiful?
card.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Got
make
like
your screen.
metallic.
Hold on, let me make
Yeah.
you big. Nope, wrong way. Hold on, let me try to figure out how to make you big.
All right.
Look, there it is. You see it?
I see it.
And he's
Isn't
got
that
that
awesome?
scowl on his face, Claire. And then
He's like,
back.
Could we get a card like
Yeah.
that?
well, we
It says
could, but
Baby
I'd pay a
Goat.
whole bunch of
and
money
then it's
for it.
autographed. There's only 15 of them. It's number 10 of 15.
Ask him.
So
Well, how much money would something like that cost, Claire? How many dollars?
700. Yeah.
$700. That's like a whole bunch of Jesse Winkers.
Like,
That's more than all the Jesse Winkers you have together. It'd probably be more about the cost of your Jesse Winker rainbow. You could have
Is
that.
that more than 100?
Yes, it is 7/100s.
Yeah.
700?
Yes, 7
And you know-
100s is 700.
That was such an awesome thing for Mr. Jimmy to do. Now, Mr.
Yeah.
Jimmy helped out your
Could I?
Special Olympics fundraiser
Yeah,
as well.
so that's why I have this
tattoo.
tattoo here. This
Yeah.
guy who's friends with Che, he runs a card shop just like Triple Play, but he's down near Che where he lives in Kentucky. His name's Jimmy. And he donated a lot to Che's Foundation. He donated that card for them to give away. And he donated to the Special Olympics to help me get my tattoos.
Is it Jimmy Guns?
No, it's not Jimmy Guns. It's Downtown Jimmy. I'm just teasing. I don't know Jimmy's last name. He goes by Kentucky Cards.
Yeah.
But also, while you were up, are you all done with that? Move on to the next
Yeah.
topic? Or?
Yeah, let's move
Yeah,
on.
we were talking about Blake Jameson, how that's my Project 2020 guy that I collected. And I just wanted to touch on this because he tweeted, I think yesterday, he goes, I'm about to make all of my clients rich. And then he said, well, I need to clarify what I mean by that. Because he said he's got, if you have his NFT by June 1st, he's going to give you a special surprise and all this stuff. And he's been in this, that, or the other. Hey, look, our buddy Buckeye Cardnut said congratulations on that rainbow.
Can you see the TV?
Right there.
Can you see the TV?
No, TV's not on the screen. So then he makes this video today about what he's talking about. And he is like the nicest, humble guy. He's like, I just believe in myself so much and the products I have coming up. Like,
I have a question for you.
what's up?
Can you roll forward to that? Watch TV.
No, Jesus, go. I don't have the remote.
Do you know where it is?
No, I don't. I only have like 2 more topics and we're done anyway. Okay. So he's just talking about how he really believes in himself and his product, and that it's just if you own his stuff, you're going to start making some money. And anytime haters come after him, which I finally felt what that's like yesterday and today, and it was not fun at all. But it's nice to have an army of people behind you who truly believe you're a good person as well, and that's quite humbling too, because that was horrible, awesome, amazing, and terrible all wrapped in one. But this guy is the king of deflating stuff. Like, you're going to come at me? Great. Let me send you 5 autographed cards and see if you like me now. Like,
He's amazing.
He's one of the people, like, is there 5 people you'd like to have a beer with? He might be on my top 5 people list. Like, he just seems like a really cool human being, a really nice human being, and a really genuine human being. I know he, like, really pumps his stuff up, but that's part of your job. Like, you have to sell your stuff. Like, when it was a year ago today that, the Project 2020 just blew up and went nuts, and him and Ben Baller just pumping it. And then, like, his like fanny packs, pump, and everything you drop. Like, why would you not pump up the stuff that you're selling, that you're making to make money. You know, he just seems like a real genuine human being, down to earth, like good guy. So
Yeah, I tweeted, I know on 3 occasions, I've retweeted one of his response videos to his haters. And I mean, some of the most toxic people on Twitter have come at him. And the way he can diffuse them and respond to them and turn them and get them, he just humbles them and gets them on their knees. I mean, he's like a Jedi with the way that he can respond to the hate. If his art ever fails, he could have a very, very lucrative career with PR and social media PR with celebrities and people who are having PR crisis on social media. The man he could teach a master class on how to handle the haters on social media. And you're right. He seemed like such a genuine guy. He seems to be very self-aware, be very humble. I don't know if you saw his thread the other day where he had about 11 tweets in a row where he kind of detailed his journey on what he went through. But then somebody's like, and he was talking about how he put together a business plan and he stuck to it. And somebody's like, hey, I'm a struggling artist myself. Would you mind to share how you did your business plan? He's like, here's the deck I used. And he just made public the PowerPoint deck that he used and said, if you want to make yours based on this, here's what I use. Go for it. It just seems like he was my favorite Project 2020 artist. I fell in love with his art. I bought all of his cards. But I think I liked his art more because I liked who he was. And I just enjoyed following him. And I enjoyed watching his live stream shows and interacting with him on Twitter. Go ahead.
And yeah, that's exactly like what you're saying. It's the live streams. And that's really why we got into Claire Cards, was because we were watching his streams together and we really liked what he did, what he had to say, and just being an awesome person. And that's what started our Claire Cards. And then Claire has 2 Jesse Winker Blake Jameson cards. He said those are the only Jesse Winkers that he made because he had to go find Jesse Winker cards. He didn't have any. And he got them just for her. He had to go out, and it took him like a month because he had to rip product to find 2 cards. He did, and she has the only 2. You know, I've got an Eloy Jimenez and a Tony Gwynn just because that's what he was making and just handing them out to people. But literally, the only 2 Winker cards in existence, he sends to her. That's just the kind of guy he is. He's just, you know, she sent him some Claire cards, and he wants to trade Cooper, and now Cooper's been making cards with Hot Wheels. He said he'll trade him some Cooper Cups for some Blake card, like some Cooper cards. It's just amazing. And, you know, just like you said, the human being behind it makes you want to get that card much more. And I know, I'm sure that's how you are with Lauren, and I don't have that relationship or any of these other artists. Like I know F. Dot is on Twitter all the time. And that's the reason I won't buy Ben Baller cards. And I got rid of all of my Ben Baller cards. I don't buy his cards. Piece of garbage can.
I don't do Ben Baller. Yeah. Ivan tweeted today about the Ben Baller Mike Trout, about how, you know, retweet this if you were guilty of buying 20 of these at $150 a piece and they're now selling for $550. And I was like, I'm really glad that I always disliked Ben Baller, and didn't fall into that trap of buying those. I've never bought a Ben Baller card, and I won't. I just don't like the way he handles himself. There cannot be 2 more polar opposite ways to handle yourself on social media than Ben Baller and Blake Jameson. Now, you know, they get along because I think, you know, Blake gets along with everybody. But if you look at the way those guys approach, how am I going to interact with my potential customer and the potential customer base that's out there, give me Blake's approach all day long, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Claire's over here watching Chicken Squad now, so I think it might be a good time to talk about those no-hitters we missed at the beginning, okay?
Okay.
She said she was getting a little bored, but didn't want to leave. She still wanted to stay.
I don't blame you, Claire. People get bored.
She lasted 34 minutes. That's the most she's ever lasted, so I'm very proud of her right now. But she's going to sit here and watch some cartoons. We have a TV right up there while you and I talk, and we'll kind of engage her on the way. Is that cool?
That's absolutely cool with me.
Because you know, who's not throwing a no-hitter is Luis Castillo, because he's 1-9. So, Che, our number 1 pitcher right now is 1-9. What do you think if I would have told you Corey Kluber would throw a no-hitter? You'd probably be like, what's this, 2015? Like when he was good? Like Wade Miley threw a no-hitter, like Musgrove?
Yeah.
It's not Garrett Cole. It's not, Clayton Kershaw. It's not Walker Buehler. It's not the huge names. It's not Scherzer or Strasburg. It's 6 guys you probably didn't know existed until this season with no hitters. And, they said the strikeout rate is higher than it's ever been before. And it's just guys are just swinging and missing because they're worried about exit velocity. They're worried about, the new analytics says the 3-run home run is worth more than a 400 batting average. Look at guys like Jesse Winker and Nick Castellanos, who are basically, I saw a tweet today. I think Dylan D. Moose tagged me in it. And it's like a shack house with a Ferrari in the garage. And like, okay, that's the Reds with Winker. And I'm like, put a like an infinity next to it or something, because that's Castellanos, and put him in an outhouse, because that's basically the team right now. And he's like, oh, what's Moustakas? I'm like, he's broken down on the side of the road with Votto, like call him the tow truck. But yeah, it's the Reds are hot garbage. The bullpen's the worst I've ever seen in my entire life, maybe on any team ever. It's like if we had last year's pitching, like this team's hitting should have been there last year. I mean, Aquino's not even there. Akiyama's not playing. India was hot. Now he's crap. Suarez, the shortstop thing didn't work out. Give me Kyle Farmer all day. I'm loving Stevenson at first base. Even Blandino's coming through. And Barnhart's solid behind the plate, and he's even hitting this year. Like, they scored the second most runs in the National League and have given up the most. And they're sitting at 5 games under. Like, this is a very fun team to watch. They suck you back in to love them, and then they break your heart all over again. And it's just like, it's like the Tim Tebow years for the Broncos. Like, they just keep giving me heart palpitations, and probably took at least 3 years off my life. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the no-hitters, I like, wait till next year when Garrett Cole throws 6 of them. To me, they're getting less meaningful.
Yeah, did you see what Kershaw said? Kershaw was really complaining about the new ball, and it doesn't have everything to do with it. The analytics and
Would
the
they add an ounce or something like that to it?
I don't know what they did with it, but he said that he did not like it at all. He didn't like the fact that there had been 6 no-hitters, and he said something's got to be done. So, but I don't know what they're going to do about the analytics and the approach when the hitters walk to the plate, because that has nothing to do with the ball. And I think that has as much to do with these no-hitters as anything they've done to the ball. So, I'm just glad that I've complained. I'll complain about it at the beginning of next year. But about this time every year, I start not being so upset that I'm blacked out watching the Reds. So, so that way they can't suck me in and just make me, I can tell whether the Reds are winning or losing when I call my dad and he answers the phone. I know how the game's going because, he's a big, huge, lifelong Reds fan. He watches them every night. And I just don't think I can handle it right now. I just don't think I can handle the frustration. Last year we had the pitching, but no hitting. This year we've got the top two hitters in the league, no pitching. The year before that, we had hitting that year and no pitching. It's just we can never put the 2 and 2 together. But as a Kentucky football fan, I should be used to that. You can never get both sides of the ball good in the same year. The Reds can never get offense and defense good in the same year. And it's just it's frustrating. So
yeah, Buckeye Cardnut says thought the ball was juiced this year. Yeah, they changed the weight of the ball to for more home runs, basically. Balls that would be on the warning track, they said about 13 more feet per, I don't know, whatever velocity it was, like every 100 miles an hour was like 13 more feet you're supposed to get or something like that. So basically warning track power balls last year are going out this year. And it's only May, so we're not even into the good air, hot years, months of the year. We're already seeing record numbers for pitchers and hitters. And, they say there's been a ton of people, like I think Barry Larkin is just absolutely trash on, calling games. Like he is terrible. He's telling a story about 3 innings long yesterday's game about old school baseball versus new school baseball, and he never actually got to a point. Like, what was the point of your talking for like 40 minutes? Like, there was none. He just rambled on like I do, but he's doing it on national television, And so it's just like, okay, then you get Don Mattingly talking about baseball is just becoming unwatchable. So that's why more people are hitting, if you have all these strikeouts in the game, it's a 1-0 game. Like, I like that as a former pitcher, but is my daughter going to watch it? Like, probably not. She wants to see Jesse Winker hit Winker dingers. He hits a home run. She runs around the house screaming, Winker dinger, Winker dinger. And Cooper's like, wing dinger, wing dinger, wing dinger. Because that's how he talks, because he's 2, right? You like a Winker dinger? You like when he hits home runs? Yeah. So it's just they bring you in, they suck you in, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
Man,
got.
go ahead.
I was just gonna move on next topic unless you got something.
I was just going to ask you about if you saw that Justin Herbert Mike Trout trade that went on in Dallas.
Well, that's what I was gonna move on to, man. See,
Okay.
you and I always the same page, man. Penny and Shaq, Penny and Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of different takes on it, and one of my favorite takes I saw was from TJ Card Collector, and I've had TJ on one of my Tuesday night shows, and he's like, okay, the one guy gives up. And this is my understanding: is he traded $70,000 and 2 Mike Trouts for a 1-of-1 Justin Herbert autograph contenders playoff BGS 9. And my thoughts are, if you have the money and the resources, which clearly this guy does, go get the card you want. And that's what TJ's comment was. Like, if you're a Herbert fan, okay, just say, to put it in my perspective, Drew Lock 2 years ago, and I have that opportunity, I'm absolutely getting a Drew Lock, the exact card that I want, a 1-of-1 autograph in the exact card I want, and I will give you what you want for it because I have the means to. I'm absolutely doing that all day. And then I see Card Collector 2, who's Ryan, owns this card shop here in Columbus, saying, hey, I know that guy, Mike. I know his collection. I know his money. I know his business. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to sell that card in August or at the National. He's going to make all of his money back. That he'll sell it before Herbert even takes another snap. He knows what he's doing. He's a businessman. My whole thing is, the guy got the card he wanted. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, is it even? Like, maybe not money, but we've often talked about value and money. Like, we bought that card for Claire yesterday for a whole bunch of money. We paid way more than it's worth or what eBay tells you it's worth, but I paid what I was willing to pay for a card for my kid. That holds more value than what it's worth, if you get my terminology I'm going with.
Yeah.
So I think the guy got the value and the worth he wanted, and he was able to afford it. I'm cool with it. I rambled on your time.
You know me, I try not to be a gatekeeper or tell you how to spend your money. The thing that just bothers me about that whole thing, and it's indicative of where the hobby is that a quarterback who started 3/4 of the season in the NFL has a card worth $100,000. I just don't get it, man. I mean, if we look at, a lot of I know he had a great year, but if you look back at some of the other quarterbacks who had really good debut seasons or really good second seasons, and then they cool off, I don't see that. And again, it's none of my business if he wanted to spend it. I just can't see that card holding that kind of value over time. Eventually, somebody, I think, will lose a lot of money on that card. I mean, unless Herbert becomes the next Elway, Montana, Marino level, Mahomes level quarterback. But is that going to happen? I mean, look at how good Russell Wilson is. Look at how good, some of these other quarterbacks that have been in the league for years truly are. I mean, does Aaron Rodgers have a card worth that much? I don't know if I've ever seen one. Is he going to be the next Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I just don't see how those cards can hold that kind of value. I just think somebody will end up losing money. And the fear there is when multiple people start losing that type of money, and is it a snowball that's going to go downhill and take this hobby kind of with it whenever that kind of crash starts happening? Because, I don't know.
It just makes me think of all the people who poured a ton of money into Top Shot thinking they were making a quick buck, and then all of a sudden stuff's worth 60 to 70% less than you bought it for. I didn't like Top Shot until my brother was on our show and he got me into it, then Tom did. And now I enjoy opening packs and kind of just sell stuff to get my money back and open more stuff and have moments and trade moments. But so many people bought, thousands of dollars worth of cards or moments, and they've all just gone downhill and downhill and downhill.
Yeah.
And so Buckeye Card Nuts is that 1-of-1. He said it auctioned for $156,000 last month. Don't know the value of the Trouts given the deal, but heard the Herbert sold instantly after the buyer. He already had a buyer lined up. So that's stuff I didn't know, yeah. And that's exactly what Ryan Card Collector 2 said. He's like, he knows what he's doing. He probably has a buyer. It'll be sold, before the season.
Yeah.
But
To me, like, I'm good. I'm glad he did. Like I said, that's none of my business. What you wanted to pay for that card yesterday, none of my business. What he wanted to pay for that, the guy who bought the Charizard for 400,000 earlier this year and just sold it for 160,000 3 months later. It's none of my business what he wanted to do with that money. But it's just the pricing on some of these newer. He doesn't even have a full season in the league. He didn't start at the beginning of the year until Tyrod Taylor, the team doctors, punctured his lungs.
he might not have even played if the doctor didn't slip.
Yeah. So it's just crazy where those prices are. So when we see what happened, Zion fell back a little bit. He had crazy pricing throughout his first year, and he played better this year than he did last year. But the prices fell a little bit. So what?
Yeah.
How is Herbert going to maintain those prices? That's my only question.
No, everyone's going to be on the next guy, and it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. Yeah. Everybody wants the new fresh thing. Everybody wants a new BMW.
The new. Yeah.
But I know we want to talk about Eric Heckers, our last topic, but Miss Claire here wanted to talk about the Chicken Squad for a second. You want to tell them about the Chicken Squad, Claire?
Could you?
So the Chicken Squad is this new show on Netflix. Where they got these on Disney Now. Not Disney Plus, but Disney Now. It's on Disney Junior, and there are these 3 chickens. They're little chicklets, and they join, like a power squad. They're like a superhero team. You got the Hot Shot, the Strong Woman, and the Brainiac, because you got to have the 3. And the leader is like a wolf dog, and they go on missions and they teach you lessons, and it's super awesome. But she mentioned that we think Cooper's asleep now, but we're not sure. But it's 9:00, so it's Claire's bedtime too. So we better talk about Eric Hecker and then get the heck off here. See what I did there?
Right. Yeah.
What I did there? Well, Eric Hecker's our buddy, Claire. Remember last week when he came to town and I went over to Buck City Breaks? We got that. We delivered that jersey. Because Buck City Breaks. Is it like Paw Patrol? It's like Paw Patrol in a sense that they go on missions, but they go on missions in like the backyard. There's no like city and stuff. They're like training to be the Paw Patrol, basically, Chris. Because Chris Vargo asked a question. So I'd almost say they're like training to be in the Paw Patrol. Chris Vargo, it's our buddy right there. Remember, Chris? I got this card for you here too. I gotta send out to you.
Chris.
Can I just say real quick how much I love when you say like the word Jimmy? She's like Jimmy Guns, and you say Chris, and she's like Chris Vargo.
Oh, she knows. She knows people. Kelly. He always send stuff with the label maker. He'll send stuff to her in his handwriting because she recognizes it, and she'll know. Oh, Kelly sent us something because she can recognize his handwriting, and he thinks that's awesome. Like the greatest thing. So he makes sure anytime he sends us something that he writes it out instead of the label, just to make her happy. Because when I get stuff sent to Claire, I have him send it not to me but to her because she likes getting mail. Who doesn't like getting mail unless it's bills, But let's get back to Eric Hecker because we're at 48 minutes already. So he's doing the Crohn's and colitis, and Buck City Breaks, when they are live on our show, they donated $1,000 to my portion, which was I was giving away a Carolina Card Exchange, the shadow box to somebody. And you know what? Chris ended up winning it. Buck City Chris ended up winning it. So they're getting a custom Buck City Breaks shadow box made. And so, they also live on my show too, gave away a scholarship to John. Like, come get into Ohio State, come work for us. We'll pay for your college. So Eric gets together with some people, puts a rack together. We buy a Justin Fields jersey and personally hand deliver it. He literally drove from Pittsburgh to Columbus just to hand deliver this jersey to them. That's the kind of guy he is because they donated to his charity. Eric Hecker. Eric Henderson, we'll call him. So then over the weekend, there is a mega, they call it the mega break over the Ripon Gypsy compound here in Northeast Ohio, which is not, probably still a good hour and a half from where he lives, maybe 2 hours. He drives up there, and they had 1,098 different people who donated to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. They collected 40,000, and I think it was 40,058 was the overall total. I'm not exactly sure, but it broke 40,000. And so he goes through, I think it ended up being 73 auction items that he opened. One of them was a Zion autographed basketball. I saw a Chuck Liddell auto. Tatis Jr. jersey auto. I mean, just 70 incredible gifts that were donated by hobby members, by TriStar, by Rip and Gypsy themselves, by the Pittsburgh Penguins, by just different amazing people. And it was just so cool to see. Then he randomized it off, and Smash gets a spot. He gives his spot back, and it was just incredible. And they say next year, if they get 50,000, they're all getting Jeff tattoos, and Jeff is the Rip and Gypsy, little monster guy.
Yeah.
I said, hey, if I can raise 3,600, you can get a tattoo for 50 grand. And then Che, he gets on and talks about the Special Olympics and how, I did
That's
this
where I was going to go.
by myself this year. He's like, we are going to help you, because this is what Eric does for a living. He's the president of his chapter of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, but we need to make sure that we know that what we did here, what he did, I say we, but I was not a huge part of this. I was, an all-star, whatever they call him, not a partner, but was on his own time and his own dollar. It was not through his job, even though he works there. That makes sense. So he was not representing his job as he did this. He was representing him as a human being and our amazing hobby. And so then he mentions, my charity that's really important to me. And he said, next year we're smashing it. Like, I went at it on my own the last 2 years. And next year, I got a force behind me. Then he starts talking about you and Tom. And just like you said, that the first thing he did this morning was make a video about you and Tom and Lauren and you're the Jet Foundation. Said, hey, next year we're going hard on this. And that's literally what he does for a living. So to have a guy like that in your corner is just incredible. So super happy for them, everything he did and what he's doing for us. Couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, as I was watching Saturday night, and he's talking about, this labor of love that they've worked on for 6 months. During the grand finale of that, before he even gets started, he starts talking about Chris raising money, and Eloy is doing a big golf thing for Fellowship of Christian Athletes this weekend. He's talking about that. He's talking about mine and Tom's fundraiser. He goes to like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday. And then yesterday, Sunday, I get a DM from him that says, man, I'm really sorry I didn't do more to help you. But next year, I want to be a bigger part of what you're doing. And I commit to you that I will be a bigger part of what you're doing next year. And then he talked about how we're going to get together and we're just going to do a big calendar so we can know who's doing what when and try not to overlap and make sure that if we, I feel like I can't help for
that's
hugely as much
important
because I'm doing my own. So, and he's just an amazing, amazing guy. He does his rack of the day every day. Man, if you don't follow Eric Hecker and you're watching this, you need to go follow Eric Hecker. He's just the best. He's an amazing, amazing guy. It's all. I just wanted to pay a shout out to him, give him, kudos and applause, and he deserves all the recognition for, man, what a genuinely good guy, and just does so much for this hobby and for things outside of the hobby. So can't thank him enough.
All right, well, that does it for our show, but you know how we have to end every show now. Claire, what's the best thing you saw today?
It's right here. Could you write my name under that?
Yeah, so you're going to tell them what it is?
Mm-hmm.
But
this is my name right there.
Well, let's show them. Let me turn around so the camera can see.
This is if you can see here, would you like to get a little closer?
Here, let me hold it up a little closer so you can reach. There's Claire's name, right over this way. What's it say there?
Oh, good job, Claire.
My favorite, my favorite thing is going to the baseball game today.
Her favorite thing we did today was go to the baseball game, and the Cats won, right? Mm-hmm. Rock City. Rock City. I didn't really have. I didn't really have something prepared at all because we saw. You know what? We always say that we can't be involved in our own, but I'm going to be involved in this one because I think that's how important it is. After I got personally attacked to my character yesterday, last night, this morning, today on Twitter, to see how many people that I don't even interact with come to my defense and say good things about me, especially shout out to Dub Mentality. a guy who's
Yeah, I
well
saw that.
respected in this hobby, and one of like the hobby godfathers to make comments, and I don't ever interact with him to say I see you doing nothing but good things, and see people that I've never even spoken for or to before come out and want to help get my daughter the one of one for her rainbow, and see all these people just one guy makes a comment and then there are 40 other people commenting back in favor of me and against this guy, telling him he's out of line. People I don't even talk to. People that that I do talk to, our close knit group of guys, are all there right away without even saying anything about it. Then you get Mike Jones, and you get Midwest Box Breaks, and you get Dub, and then you get like 15 people I don't even know. Chris Vargo's one of them. Josh Buckeye Cardinite. K Dub's text messaging me. All these people in support. And that was just incredible. That's the best thing I saw all week was one guy decides they're going to attack you. It's the internet, It's full of wonderful people and it's full of terrible people. One guy decided he was going to drag me through the mud and be a terrible person over some crap. But then you've got an army of people behind you and people that I don't even know that think that I'm a good person, that I'm doing good things and want to let me know about it. Like I woke up to probably 30 DMs today and over 300 notifications. And I mean, like my phone literally died last night because it kept blowing up. Cooper comes to my room, rise and shine, Dad, at 6 a.m. because my phone died overnight and my ringer didn't go off because my notifications just did not stop the entire night. Like, ringer off, but still just blown up. And so, nonsense, but just so happy that people know that, Gold Line and what we stand for and just weren't having that. And that's all I'm going to talk about that probably for forever because, it's time to move on to better things. Can't wait to get that rainbow and hang it on the wall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I just talked about, the best thing I thought I was going to talk about this week was seeing, just Eric Hecker and their Ricker for the Cure and the $40,000 and his.
See, that was my favorite thing too. But then we talked
immediately transferring over to starting. How can I help other people now? But also, yesterday seeing Claire, I know how you've been chasing that rainbow, and to see the one of one pop up, and you actually see it before it gets sold, and get the chance to get it, and then to know that she's going to get it, and then anybody who doubts whether she knows what it is or not, I mean, can just watch this show tonight and see her react and know the members of the hobby and their names. And you say Jimmy, and she's like Jimmy Guns, and she knows what's going on around you and the cards in the hobby. And I know I've seen her react to Jesse Winker doing good things. And so she knows what the card is, and the fact that she's now going to have it is awesome. So I'm glad she got it, man.
I want to read one thing real quick. It's the post that the seller made on Instagram. That's how he contacted me. He said at least 15 different people contacted him and mentioned Claire and I before I even contacted him. Like he wrote other people messages, say, hey, get in contact with me, or have him get in contact with me. Then they're messaging me, can I give him your information? Can I do this? Oh, I went ahead and did this. Like, well, I was kind of waiting to do that later, but this is the post that the seller made on Instagram. He posted a picture of the Winker Super Refractor, and his PC is Zach Gallen. That's his name. So this is a rare non-Gallen post. I picked this up nearly a year ago for my Reds PC. It's a 2019 Topps Chrome Jesse Winker Superfractor 1 of 1 and the first Superfractor I have owned. Initially, I planned on holding onto this card indefinitely. After a scorching start of the season, I decided to test the market and post on eBay. I woke up this morning with 10 offers, and several of these telling me that someone needed this card to complete their rainbow. Fortunately, Gold Line Cards and I were able to connect and make a deal to complete the rainbow that he and his daughter have been working on. Any rainbow is a challenge, let alone a Topps Chrome. Very glad to get this card where it belongs. And then there's like 15 comments afterwards, like how this is so awesome. I'm really glad you got a deal. He had it for $1,500. I didn't pay, no one pays $1,500 for that. You cut a deal with the guy. We had like 3 or 4 different trades worked out at the end. Ended up just paying him money because I had the money. So I just wanted to read that because you were talking about it, and I don't know if anybody, even knew that or not. That the guy
It was
literally
awesome.
his PC and wanted my kid to have it. So there we are.
It was awesome.
Was it awesome, Claire? We're all done. We're ready to say goodbye now. Okay.
Goodbye.
Come over here and say, everybody, thank you for watching. I had a wonderful time.
Goodbye.
Good night,
Say-
Claire.
We're gonna watch some Bluey and go to bed.
I'm not so blue and go to bed.
Say thanks for having me, Che.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell him he's over here?
He's over here.
He's right here. Say thanks for having me, Che.
Thanks for having me. Yay.
Thanks for letting me be on your show, Claire.
Well, thank you for having me tonight, Che. I appreciate you getting your computer fixed and being able to come
Yeah.
on with us. So,
All right, brother.
all right, for
We'll talk to you
everybody
later.
watching, thank you so much for watching. If you watch us on a replay, thanks for watching on a replay, Che. It's always awesome to hang. Everybody in the chat. Look, Claire, like 9 people are saying goodnight to you. Terry Paul says goodnight. Buckeye Car Night says great show as always. Good night. Josh says good night. Jen says good night. Chris says good night.
Everyone's like,
Everybody loves you, Claire. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling on and get her to bed. So good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Night.